Welcome to episode 50 of Uncaged Sports Talk. Episode 50 is finally here. We're coming up on a year of Uncaged Sports Talk. So there's some stuff that happened over this week. First, we had the home run, before the home run derby even took place, we had a bad national anthem, but I hope Ingrid goes out and gets help. I believe the name, I forget what the last name is. I don't want to mess up the last name, but she was drunk and did the national Ingrid Andress. I hope she goes and gets the help she needs. I'm not going to share the video. It's a shame that what happened, but that led into an amazing home run derby. Alec Bohm put on a show. His swing looked amazing in the home run derby, and then a decent All-Star game on Tuesday night. But besides for that, there's not much more to get into, except at the time I'm recording this, there's about to be history made starting at 7:30 with the Philadelphia Union yesterday at the time this is coming out. There's about to be history made with the Philadelphia Union versus the New England Revolution. 14-year-old Kevin Sullivan signed with the Philadelphia Union not too long ago. Will be making his pro debut. He will be the youngest player in North American sports history to play at any pro level. Kevin Sullivan is making history as a 14-year-old. That is insane. He has a contract, so when he turns 18, he will be going over to Manchester United, I believe. I believe that's the team. I can double check. I'm going to actually double check for you guys real quick so I know my facts. Double check my fact check myself. It's Manchester City he has a contract with. Kevin Sullivan, 14-year-old. And it was reported by ESPN, so it's a big deal. Kevin Sullivan makes his debut, though, tonight as a 14-year-old playing in Major League Soccer. That is nuts. Good luck to him. I'll have to tune in to see how this goes. Hopefully, it works out well. Young prodigy. Hopefully, the prodigy continues success. Now, the gist of this episode, since it's episode 50, I brought it up last week. I've been doing a project that some people know about, collecting data for the best athletes of all time. I've had 77 names given to me, but for the sake of the audience, I am only going to go through the top 50. I'm going to keep most of them short, like what I think about each athlete short. But without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 50 on the best athletes of all time list, the consensus list. This is consensus data. So if someone got like a vote at number 1, they got 10 points. Someone got a vote at number 2, they got 9 points. If someone got a vote at 10th place, they only got 1 point, and so on. Coming in at number 50, Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk, the greatest skater ever. He made skating cool in the 2000s. Many people want to become skaters in the 90s and 2000s. Tony Hawk comes in at number 50. I would actually put him higher if it was my list, but you'll see my top 10 later. Coming in at number 49, Bill Russell. He has to be on here somewhere. I'd actually put him higher too. He has the most championships of all time for an NBA player. Actually, maybe someone else, one of his teammates, but I believe he has 12 championships, maybe 10, if I'm not mistaken. Might be 10. Bill Russell in the NBA Finals had 45 wins, only 25 losses in the NBA Finals. I'm trying to see for Like how many? He went to the finals 12 times and won 11 championships and 12 finals appearances. Bill Russell has to be on this list somewhere. Elie Kipach. Not exactly sure who that is. Someone gave me them. That's a long distance runner. A Kenyan long distance runner. Comes in at number 48. Elude, I'm going to guess it is. He specialized in the 5,000 meters and marathons. Coming in at number 47 is someone who played both ways for the Philadelphia Eagles. A center. I did not put him on this list, so don't blame me. I don't have a bias for my list. But a center. He played center and linebacker, actually. He's more known as a linebacker. Concrete Charlie, Chuck Bednarik. Comes in at 47. Coming in at number 46 is Brock Lesnar. Just a natural freak. Coming in at number 45 is the captain, number 2, Derek Jeter. Coming in at number 44, maybe the best hitter of all time, the best pure hitter of all time, Ted Williams. Coming in at number 43, one of the best Formula One racers of all time, Lewis Hamilton. Coming in at number 42, Alex Curlin. I'm not sure. I'm going to do some research. I believe it's a soccer player, if I'm not mistaken. Doing my research. It is a Russian. Alexander Kurlin is a Russian wrestler. Dang. I'm not going to say, I was going to say the other word, but I'm looking at a picture of him. He was a Russian wrestler, like not like WWE wrestling, but this man is jacked. Look him up. Alexander Kurlin, Russian wrestler. He was like actual wrestling, like high school wrestling, college wrestling, Olympic wrestling. This dude is absolutely jacked. Looks like holy bleep. This dude is jacked. Okay, I see why this dude's on this without even watching him wrestle. Coming in at number 41, someone who had a great World Cup in 2023, I believe it was, last summer. Kylian Mbappe. He comes in at number 41. One of the best young soccer players in the world. Coming in at number 40, Connor McDavid. He has potential to eventually climb this list even further. He's still young. Just got to the Stanley Cup this year. I think it's a little high. There's people I'd definitely put over him. I don't know if I'd have him in my top 50, but he has potential to get on my top 50 eventually. Connor McDavid comes in at number 40. Maybe the best pitcher of all time in baseball, Cy Young, comes in at number 39. There's literally an award named after him for the best pitcher of the year. Best pitcher each year in both the American League and National League is given the Cy Young Award. Cy Young comes in at number 39 on this list. Coming in at number 38, one of the best Olympic athletes of all time, the best snowboarder of all time, maybe the best winter Olympic athlete of all time, Shaun White. Shaun White comes in at number 38. Coming in at number 37, one of the best soccer players of all time, Diego Maradona. Coming in at number 36, the guy who inspired the movie Rocky Marciano. I believe he has the best boxing record of all time. His career knockout to win percentage is 87.8%. He got knockouts. Trying to find his record. Professional boxing record. Rocky Marciano was 49-0. 43 wins by knockout, 6 by decision, and 0 losses. Rocky Marciano comes in at number 36 on this list. Another great hitter on this list, Joe DiMaggio. Not much to say about Joe DiMaggio, one of the best hitters of all time. He has the hit streak record, the most hits in consecutive games at 56. He had a hit in 56 straight games. And he was also winning off field, as it looks like he dated Marilyn Monroe. He actually was married to Marilyn Monroe. So he was winning on and off the field as he was married to Marilyn Monroe. We have the power couple of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce now. Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe would have been a power couple. That's the original Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Coming in at number 34, Roger Staubach, an All-American QB, basic All-American, went to Navy. One of the best quarterbacks of all time. Very historic resume for Roger Staubach. Comes in at number 34. Jerry Rice. Some regard him as the best football player of all time. He comes in at number 33 on this list. He's easily the best wide receiver of all time. Comes in at number 33. Number 32 is Barry Sanders. I almost said Sweetness. Walter Payton actually, I don't even think he was named on this list at all by anyone. But Barry Sanders comes in at number 32. He had a shorter career than most. But if he kept playing, he might be in the top 10 on this list. For the period of time he played, the impact he made was lasting. Will last forever. Maybe the shiftiest running back of all time. Maybe one of the fastest of all time. Barry Sanders comes in at number 32. Coming in at number 31, one of the best MMA fighters of all time. Maybe the best. Overshadowed a little bit, or not a little bit, but overshadowed by the drugs, by the PEDs. John Jones comes in at number 31. He's had some great fights with Daniel Cormier. John Jones comes in at number 31 on this list. Coming in at number 30 is Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player of all time in the NFL. The greatest defensive NFL player of all time. Lawrence Taylor is that. He comes in at number 30 on this list. He needs to be on this list somewhere, obviously. Coming in at number 29 is the Big Diesel. Shaquille O'Neal comes in at number 29. Shaquille O'Neal was just a dominant force in the paint. Like, bigger, stronger than everyone. Shaquille O'Neal just overpowered people. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go off screen for 1 second. Coming in at number 28 on the greatest athletes of all time list, the Mr. Hockey, the original GOAT of hockey, Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe is the original GOAT of hockey. He was Wayne Gretzky's inspiration. He literally was the inspiration. He was Wayne Gretzky's hero, basically. He's the guy Wayne Gretzky grew up watching. There's actually something called a Gordie, I believe, a Gordie Howe in hockey. There's something called, let me look this up. It's called a Gordie Howe hat trick. A Gordie Howe hat trick is registering a goal, an assist, and a fight all in one game. There's some pictures of Gordie Howe too. Gordie Howe fishing. This man was jacked. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the picture, but this man was jacked. The the original goat of hockey, Mr. Hockey, he was called. Gordie Howe comes in at number 28 on this list. Now, number 27 could be top 10. Someone had him top 10, but he could be top 10 overall if it wasn't overshadowed, if his career wasn't overshadowed by the steroids and PEDs. And a lot of people did the PEDs back in those days. So it shouldn't overshadow it as much. When I was younger, it overshadowed it a lot for me. But when you realize that probably 90% of people were doing PEDs back then that just didn't get caught, it makes Barry Bonds, like, it puts him back in some of the good graces of people. Barry Bonds comes in at number 27 on this list. If it wasn't for the PEDs, he might be in the top. He might very well be regarded as the best baseball player of all time. He comes in at number 27 on this list. One of the best Formula One racers of all time. Him and Lewis Hamilton are probably the top two from what I've seen. Michael Schumacher comes in at number 26. Joe Cool, the original Joe Cool. Sorry, Joe Burrow, you're not Joe Cool. Joe Cool. No, Joe Cool is Joe Namath. That's the original. But the other Joe Cool, he was cool in moments of the clutch. Joe Montana. Joe Montana comes in at number 5, the original GOAT at quarterback in the NFL. Tom Brady's hero. Tom Brady grew up watching Joe Montana. Joe Montana was his favorite QB. Joe Montana was a hero for was the original GOAT at QB for the most part. Joe Montana comes in at number 25 on this list. Coming in at number 24, maybe the most dominant pitcher of all time at his peak, Nolan Ryan just threw pitches by people. Nolan Ryan was insane from all the stories about him. Coming in at number 23 is a character himself. That's why there's 2 pictures for him. The Atlanta version, the Atlanta version, the Atlanta Falcons, or the Atlanta Braves version, Deion Sanders was a good baseball player. Then you had the greatest cornerback of all time, Primetime, Deion Primetime Sanders. His alter ego was Prime. His alter ego is named Prime for people that don't know. If you're like, what? You should know. But Deion Sanders Prime, a great two-sport athlete, played both in the MLB and NFL, did it both in one day, comes in at number 23 on the greatest athletes of all time. Coming in at number 22, maybe the greatest knockout puncher of all time, the greatest power puncher of all time in boxing, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson at his peak, like, no one would have wanted to get in the ring with him. That's Iron Mike. His fist was basically made of iron. Knocked out anyone basically he got in the ring with at his peak. Mike Tyson, one of the most influential athletes of all time, he comes in at number 22. And then Cristiano Ronaldo. For a while, it was debated Ronaldo or Messi. One of those pulled away, but Ronaldo comes in at number 21 on this list. One of the best soccer players of all time. Coming in at number 20. Before I actually say his name, you can see it, but before I say it, rest in peace to his pops, Joe Jellybean Bryant. Coming in at number 20, Kobe Bean Bryant comes in at number 20. Rest in peace to you as well. Kobe and Joe can finally be together again. And Joe can finally see his granddaughter again. Kobe Bryant comes in at number 20 on this list. One of the most influential NBA players of all time. When you go to shoot like a piece of trash into a trash can, a piece of paper into a trash can, what do you say? Kobe. Kobe Bryant comes in at number 20. Coming in at 19 is Jim Brown. Jim Brown, he was the GOAT of football before Jerry Rice. If this list was done, actually, there was a list of North American ones done in the 90s for the 20th century. There's actually one being done currently for the 21st century. But for the 20th century, I believe he was actually top 5 in North American athletes. Just going to double check that. Yeah, Jim Brown, though, one of the best of all time. Maybe the best running back of all time besides for Barry Sanders. Jim Brown comes, it has to be on any like best athletes of all time list. Yeah. For the top North American athletes of the century, for the 20th century, ESPN put Jim Brown at number 4. He has to be on this list. 1000%. Coming in at number 18, one of the best track and field athletes of all time, one of the best track stars of all time, Jesse Owens comes in at 18. Coming in at 17, the best men's tennis player of all time, Roger Federer. Roger Federer retired last year. He's missed to the sport of tennis. Tennis isn't really talked about anymore to casual viewers, but Roger Federer comes in at 17. Simone Biles comes in at number 16. Simone Biles is one of the best, she is the best gymnast of all time. One of the best Olympic athletes of all time. Simone Biles comes in at number 16. Give me one. Thank you for that. Coming in at number 15, Pele. He's the original GOAT of soccer. Him and Diego Maradona are the 2 original GOATs. Now it's Ronaldo's up there and a guy that we'll name later. Pele comes in at number 15. Wilt Chamberlain, one of the biggest like freak athletes of all time. He's like Giannis is like the modern day version of Wilt Chamberlain. That's the best comparison you can have for Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was fast for his size. Granted, he was bigger, stronger than everyone, but Wilt Chamberlain was just naturally gifted, athletically gifted. He was like a unicorn out on the court. He comes in at number 14. Excuse me. Jim Thorpe comes in at number 13. One of the best track and field athletes of all time. One will be named later. He actually played football as well, so he was a 2-sport athlete as well. Jim Thorpe comes in at number 13. The best women's athlete of all time, Serena Williams, comes in at number 12 on this list. She's the best tennis player of all time, most decorated. Serena Williams comes in at number 12. Sorry, I keep having to go off screen. I have a running noise. I don't want to wipe my nose on screen. Yes, Serena's just insane. Serena's one of the best she is the best women's athlete of all time. Then coming in at number 11, the original 2-sport athlete before Dion, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson had a short career because back problems. If he didn't, he would be in the top 10 for sure. But he was great in baseball, great center fielder. And he was a great running back in the NFL. Bo Jackson's this is where Bo Jackson's stats in baseball alone. It'll be easier to categorize it. Basically, you can baseball, like, the stats stand out more. They pop more. Bo Jackson had an 8.3 WAR. I actually thought his batting average would be a little higher. At his peak, he had a 866 slugging, 866 OPS, 805 OPS as well. And he was a 30 home run guy, knocked in 100 home runs in a season. His batting average ranged around like 250, 270, but he was also fast, good defensively. And then he was an even better running back. Running back is where where his money was made. He had a short career, obviously. He only played 38 games. But in 38 games, he had 16 touchdowns. That's a touchdown every other game. He had 515 yards. He averaged, where's the average? He averaged 73 yards a game. That's outstanding. Bo Jackson was just a freak. Was able to play both sports. If he did not have back problems, back injuries, he would easily be top 10 on this list. Injury slowed him down on his career. Now, for the top 10. First, I'm going to go through my list, which will be on the right-hand side, my own personal list. Then we'll go through the consensus list. Actually, we'll do it the opposite. First, we're going to go through the consensus on the left-hand side. Then I'll name my list and the reason behind everyone on my list. So, to finish off, the consensus top 50 athletes of all time. Coming in at number 10 is Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is the best golfer of all time. No ifs, ands, or buts. He made golfing popular. Coming in at number 9, the fastest person in the world, the fastest person in history, Usain Bolt. You have to have the fastest person in history on this list somewhere. Usain Bolt comes in at number 9. Babe Ruth, the original GOAT of baseball, still widely recognized as the GOAT of baseball, comes in at number 8. LeBron James comes in at number 7. LeBron James is, if you're building a player from scratch in basketball, you're building LeBron James. LeBron James is who you're building if you're building a player from scratch. Give me 1 second again. Sorry. Yeah, if you're building a player from scratch, you're 1000% building LeBron James in the NBA. Can play defense, can shoot, can attack the rim. He has the size, he has speed, strength. LeBron James is the prototypical basketball build. He's your ideal basketball player if you're building one. LeBron James comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Lionel Messi, widely regarded as the greatest soccer player of all time. I'm not a great soccer player, or not big soccer fan. I'm definitely not a great soccer player. That's besides the point. But I'm not a big soccer fan. But Messi is just a different level soccer-wise. Messi comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I think this is a little high for him. 5, I think 5 is just a little high. Like, LeBron is a better athlete, but I'll get into that on my list. Tom Brady, the best quarterback of all time in the NFL, comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Michael Phelps. He is the greatest Olympic athlete of all time, has the most Olympic gold medals, so you can't dispute it. Coming in at number 3 is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is the greatest boxer of all time. No ifs, ands, or buts to it. He's what made boxing popular. He's the original GOAT of boxing and still is the GOAT of boxing. Coming in at number 2 is Wayne Gretzky, the Great One, his name is. Literally, his name is the Great One. So he has to be in a top 10 list of the greatest athletes of all time. The greatest hockey player of all time. No ifs, ands, or buts. Comes in at number 2. Now, I don't agree with this spot. I think it's a bit high. I think there's some other. I think the 4 that I have ahead of him are perfect. But Michael Jordan comes in at number 1. He's number 1, I think, just because his impact on sports in general. People still wear his shoes. He still recognizes he's probably the most popular athlete of all time. MJ, Michael Jordan, comes in at number 1. And he just had a killer instinct that people still that the older generation resonates with today. Now for my list, I'm actually going to pause quick. Sorry, I keep having to pause. I apologize. My nose is just running. We're going to be finishing up shortly, though. For my list, I'll explain why for each person. At 10, I have Tiger Woods. It's the same as the consensus. Tiger Woods, I have at 10 because of the way I did my list. I wanted a face of every single sport. And Tiger Woods is the face of golf. So Tiger Woods comes in at number 10. Tom Brady, not the most athletic person, but if you think of the NFL, Tom Brady is the first name that's going to come to mind. Tom Brady comes at number 9. That's basically the theme of my top 10. They're all the first name that's going to come to mind when you think of their sport. At number 8, I have Serena Williams. You think of tennis, you think women athletes. Serena Williams is the first person coming to mind, without a doubt. Coming in at number 7 is LeBron James. Besides from Michael Jordan, LeBron James is right up there in terms of players in NBA history who are coming to mind immediately. LeBron and MJ are going to be the top 2 named right off the top of people's minds. LeBron comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Babe Ruth, the Great Bambino. You think of baseball, who do you think of? Put it in the comments, everyone. Please. Do I even need to say it? Well, I will. You think of baseball, you think of Babe Ruth first. I already explained LeBron and MJ. Michael Jordan comes in at number 5. You think of basketball, Michael Jordan, for the most part, will be the first name that comes to mind. He comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Muhammad Ali. You think of boxing, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, no questions asked. Number 3, Wayne Gretzky, the Great One. You think of hockey, Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky comes in at number 3. Just fast. He's a great one. Just that simple. Coming in at number 2, you think of track and field. You think of Olympics. You think of fast. You think of fast. You think of Bolt. You think of Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt comes in at number 2. And when you think of the Olympics, who's the first person that comes to mind? Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps has the most Olympic gold medals of all time. If you have the most Olympic gold medals of all time, you deserve number 1 almost by default on this list. Sorry. I keep having to come in and out. But that is the top 50 athletes of all time for episode 50. I will run through, before I close off this episode, some of the people that were named that did not make the cut for the top 50. There's other people that I think were left off, like Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, that were just left off in general. But Katie Ledecky, Hank Aaron, Shohei Ohtani, Larry Bird, Cal Anderson, Chloe Kim, John Cena, Ken Griffey Jr., Jack Nicklaus, Sean Taylor, Caitlin Clark, Joey Chestnut, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Conor McGregor, Patrick Mahomes, Randy Johnson, Sidney Crosby, Novak Djokovic. I put this dude as an honorable mention on mine, so I only gave him half a point because he was an honorable mention. And he deserves to be mentioned in this episode. Josh Gibson. Statistically, he's the greatest baseball player of all time, but he was basically hidden from everyone for a while. But Josh Gibson comes in on this as well as an honorable mention. So some notable names did not make the top 50, but some notable names haven't even made the top 77. I'm going to keep doing this list throughout time just to see like how it evolves from other perspectives. But that'll do it for episode 50 of Uncaged Sports Talk. I will hopefully be able to get done 2 episodes next week. I'm going to do 2 episodes, so when we get to episode 53, the 1-year anniversary, we're up to date in 2 weeks that takes place. So next week, hopefully I'll do a double release episode-wise. That'll do it, though, for this episode of Uncaged Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on all of our platforms. It is greatly appreciated. Tune in next week for Uncaged Sports Talk.